The first run to the cattle farm had shown the AM&W the limits of Navajo. Though she finished the job, every mile was a battle. The railroad knew it needed stronger engines if it was to keep pushing forward. From Baldwin came Golden Gate, an 818C 440 American type, built for speed and endurance. But the AM&W would soon need more than just speed. The iron mine project was about to begin. Surveyors struck a bold course into the mountains. The first obstacle was a vast valley too wide for timber trestles, only steel would do. Crews raised a great bridge across the gorge, rivets ringing day and night until the span was complete. Beyond the bridge, the rails leveled on a broad plateau, a natural flatland carved into the hills. Here a siding and small helper station were built, for what came next was no ordinary climb. From the plateau, the line pitched upward into the mountainside at a relentless 5% grade. The only way forward was to cling to the rock itself. Surveyors marked a path that hugged the sheer slopes, and the work crew set to the task. Steel trestles spanned the gullies, their iron frames anchored deep into stone foundations. Hammer blows rang out as men drove spikes, rivets, and bolts, holding the new line against the mountain's face. It was grueling work, rock slides, harsh weather, and the constant fight against gravity itself. But tie by tie, rail by rail, the AM&W pressed onward. At last the grade eased and the alignment leveled out into a narrow plateau carved into the mountainside. They had finally reached the iron mine. To supply the iron mine, the railroad turned to the Cook Locomotive Works for a new 260 Mogul. Christened Will Rogers, she quickly proved her worth, hauling the first heavy train of beams and lumber to the plateau. As Will Rogers arrived at the helper station, she was greeted by another new addition to the railroad, a Heisler Locomotive Works 37 8 36, the railroad's very first geared locomotive. Compact, rugged, and built for steep grades, she stood ready to couple on, pushing and pulling trains up the final miles to the mine. Will Rogers and the Heisler clawed their way up the mountain pass, mile after grueling mile, until at last the iron mine came into view, its towering ore bins and fresh-built trestles ready for the first cars. The mountains had been conquered, and the iron trade was born. The AM&W had reached the iron mine, but its hardest work was still to come. Heavy ore trains would soon have to descend the mountain, brakes squealing and boilers straining. Every run would test the nerve of the crews and the strength of the railroad itself. I'd like to thank you all for watching the next installment of the Atchison, Missouri and Western Railroads Online Series. If you enjoyed the ride, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next run down the rails. This is Frisco Man 1522 signing off.